solved equations where we only had one step. You added to get the number to the other side. You subtracted to get the other number to the other side. You divided. You multiplied by the reciprocal. It was one action. Now we're going to two. Okay? In two-step equations, there's two operations you're going to do. 99.99999% of the time. The very first thing you're going to do is to get the variable alone. And you do that through addition or subtraction. 99.999% of the time today, you will add or subtract first, pending what number is there. After that, we'll worry about getting a coefficient of +1. Reminding you, a coefficient is the number in front of the variable. And we do that through multiplication or division. So the first thing we worry about is just getting the variable alone. Nothing added or subtracted to it. Then we'll worry about the what's in front of it. I'm going to be honest with you. Some of you may love algebra tiles. Ms. Hoff hates them. Her brain doesn't work with algebra tiles very well. And we're at that point we're not going to probably use them. Not probably. We're not going to use them because I don't have any and I don't want any. Okay? We're going to use this solution or solving by method 2, which should look very familiar to what you've been doing. The biggest thing is, and people this morning were annoyed when I said this, is I have to see a balanced equation. I have to see that you're doing things on each side. If one side of your equation is heavier or has more writing than the other, you're not going to earn full points. I have to see your work. In Ms. Hoff's world, it is 2/3 work, 1/3 correct answer. A problem like this on a quiz is 3 points. You have the right answer, you get 1. But if you don't have work in the middle, you don't earn those points. The correct answer would earn you a 33%. So showing me work, because when you get down you will learn the process and procedure, you're able to solve more problems than just the single one in front of you. Okay? All right, let's go on that left-hand side. We're going to do got it A. 3x, whoopsies, plus 2 equals 20. Take your pointer finger, cover up the x and the 3. I don't care what the coefficient is right now. It doesn't matter. What do I need to move? The 2. Currently, it's positive. How do I move it? I subtract it, or a -2. So underneath and on both sides, I'm going to show that I'm subtracting 2. 2 and -2 cancel. I drag down 3x. 20 minus 2, 18. Now I need to get a +1 coefficient. 3 is directly next to x. What's happening in between those? Multiplication. How do I undo multiplication? I divide both sides by 3. 18 divided by 3 is 6. The question always shows up, Ms. Hoff, do I have to write 1x or can I just write x? That's fine. That's totally fine. All right, I'm going to challenge you. Do B on your own. 5 plus 2n equals -1. I'm going to check in with you in just a second. Give everybody a minute. Get your variable by itself, then worry about a +1 coefficient. I cover up the 2 in the end. What do I need to get rid of? 5. How do I move him? Subtract him. Bless you. Twice. Drag down to n. Be cautious here. -1 minus 5. -6. Next. Divide each side by 2. N equals -3. Biggest mistake today, losing negatives. If you need to exaggerate your negative sign so that you don't lose it, do that. Okay? Having $3 versus -$3 is a big difference, right? 3 feet ahead versus 3 feet behind is a big difference. So that negative sign, yes, it matters. And you're like, oh my gosh, please let's hope this is all we're doing today, right? This is easy. Top right-hand side. What's different about example number 2? There's a fraction! But we dealt with fractions the other day. When you have a coefficient that's a fraction, how do you get rid of it? Very good. You multiply by the reciprocal. What's that phrase you guys use? Keep, change, flip. So what we just did doesn't change, but we have to keep, change, flip. So let's do D. Let's do D up at the top here. 2/5 R minus 5 equals 7. 2/5 R minus 5 equals 7. Take your pointer finger. Cover up the 2/5 and the R. I don't care what number's in front of it right now. What do I need to move? It's a -5. Very good. How do I move it? Add 5 to both sides. Drag down 2/5 R. 7 plus 5. Say it again. 12. Now, my coefficient is 2/5, the number in front of my variable. You guys told me, multiply by the reciprocal. What is the reciprocal? 5/2. Whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other. 5s and 2's cancel. I'm left with 1R. I'm going to put 12/1. At this point, you should look to simplify. Are there 2 numbers you can simplify? What 2?
12 and 2.
12 would become 2 would become. Now we multiply top times top, bottom times bottom. 6 times 5. 1 times 1. So R is actually 30. So fractions should not frighten us. Agreed? Don't be frightened. You multiply by the reciprocal. Example number 3. Ms. Hoff hates this line right here. Never actually put a positive and a negative together like they did. They show us this example because I cover up my 3x and I have a 6. So I subtract 6 to both sides. What I have to be careful of is this is a -3 that needs to get drugged down. So the reason they show us this example is don't lose the negative on your coefficient. Okay? I'm going to do F. E. Okay. We'll do E. We could do G. 10 minus 2/3 P equals 52. E. We're going to do E. Okay. Cover up your 2/3 P. What do I need to move? 10. How do I move it? Subtract 10. Wait. But there's a minus sign right here. So why would I subtract 10? It's negative. The negative belongs to the fraction. There's nothing in front of the 10. Good job. You didn't fall for it. Okay, that's good. But that happens. People do that. That's why I bring it up. Always look in front of the 10. Trick didn't work. Sorry. I mean, good for you guys, but When you drag down your P, what are you dragging down? Negative 2/3 P equals 52 minus 10. 42. What is my coefficient?
Negative 3 over 2.
What is my coefficient? Negative 2/3. To get rid of that, I need to multiply by the reciprocal, which is negative 3 over 2. Don't lose the negative. Don't lose the negative. 3's cancel. 2's cancel. Negatives become positive. I get 1p. I'm going to put 42 over 1. Can you simplify on that right-hand side?
Yes.
What can you simplify? 42 becomes, and 2 becomes 1. 21 times negative 3. Negative 63. 1 times 1. So P is actually negative 63. Good work. Good work. Flip to page 124. Do number 2 for me, all on your own. Flip to page 124 and do number 2, and I'm going to call on some people to help me out with this problem. Guided practice number 2. Make sure you're showing nice, balanced work. Nice, balanced work. What are you going to do with that 3? Add it or subtract it? Add it. Careful, your 3 is subtract. Yeah, subtract it. So just make sure you're at that minus so that you remember that. That negative really belongs with your 5. That's up here. There you go. All right, if I cover up the 5y, and you guys didn't fall to this before, remember you're covering up that negative. How do I get rid of that 3? You subtract 3 to both sides because 3 is positive. This minus sign goes with the 5. So I'm going to subtract 3 to both sides. I draw the line. These cancel. What am I dragging down? Negative 5y. Now, I always love that you do this addition and subtraction in your head, but always double check yourself on your calculator. And people want to start changing signs when they type it in. Type it in exactly what it says. Negative 37 minus 3 is negative 40. Negative 37. That's why I'm so adamant about, are you subtracting 3 or adding 3? Put that sign in there so you remember. What's my next step? Very good. Don't lose that negative. Y ends up being positive? Not negative. Are you sure? Positive. Positive. A negative and a negative become a positive.
What is the actual? Oh, never mind.
Good.
I see that.
All right, let's look at number 4. Cassidy went to the movies with some of her friends. Tickets are $6.50 each. They spent $17.50 on snacks. The total amount paid was $63. Solve the equation 63 equals 650p plus 1750 to determine how many people went to the movies. They set this up for you. $63 is how much they spent. $6.50 has to get charged times every person. Plus they bought one set of snacks at $17.50. On your own. Find me how many people went to the movies that day with Cassidy. First thing I should do. Jacob?
We're over 6.7 feet, and then subtract 1750
Okay, and when we take 63 minus 1750, we get 4550. These cancel. Drag this down. Somebody else tell me my next step. Chris. Okay. And what do you get? 7. So 7 people went to the movies. Question. Say you had been working and you got down and you divided and you got like 5.2345. Should you panic?
No.
It's money? It's people. So should you panic with 5.2 something?
No.
Why? Yeah. What are you taking? Somebody's arm? Like 5.2 people are going, I'm sorry, I need 0.2 of this chair because my friend's arm is coming with me. Like what? So you got to think about when we're calculating these is my answer reasonable? Well, yeah, it's a whole number. That would make sense that a whole person goes to the movies, right? That's right. You can have the arm.
That just reminds me of
Seems a little creepy, folks. It seems a little creepy.
sign that I saw on Google. A warning: 15.5 people have died here, something like that. Yeah, half their body got cut off.
Yikes. Okay, this one took a dark, scary turn. Number 5, we're not actually going to answer number 5, but I want the space for it, okay? So write this problem down. A minus 4 all over 5 equals 12. A minus 4 all over 5 equals 12. Okay, now this one's different than what we've seen with fractions before. Our other fractions have been a single number over a single number, or a letter over a number. And in this case, we have what's called a complex fraction because there's an operation of subtraction inside that. We cannot do anything with a minus 4 until we get rid of this fraction. Now listen to what I'm going to ask you before you shout an answer. This bar right here, does that mean addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division? Division. What's the opposite of division? Multiplication. So to get rid of that, I could multiply both sides by 5. When we multiply by 5, it cancels that denominator, leaving me just a minus 4. And 12 times 5 is 60. Now this is not a scary problem, agreed? What's my next step? Add 4 to both sides. A equals 64. Questions, clarifications, things you want to double check on before I turn you loose? All right, top of page 125, your homework, 2 through 26, even, and number 29. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. Every single period today, I've suggested that people go and cross off the odds, and they're like, I don't need to, and then somebody does the odds, okay? I would go cross off the odds. You don't have to do them. Just put a small X like this through it so you remember you do not have to do the odd problems. Make sure you try really hard on 18. If anybody gets 18 wrong. Yikes. Okay? I'm going to let you work for a few minutes, then I'm going to give you some answers so you can check as you go. Cool? All right, the hour is yours.